What's up, everybody? So I get asked this question a lot. What's the difference between the Bank Series robot? So I'm making this video here to explain it. So that way, if you guys want to know the difference, you can just simply click this video. So I'm going to break down everything, what you get if you purchase the indicator, what you get if you purchase the complete trading system, the settings, what it does, how it works, what's the differences, what strategy you may be trying to learn if you want to be a swing trader, intraday, or scalper. Which system is best for you? Some do both, some do one of the two, some do all three. We'll go over everything in this video, and hopefully it could determine what is best for you if you decide to purchase one of these trade systems. And if you do, thank you in advance. Let's get into the video. So first we're going to start with the bank executive in the top left corner. Let's blow the chart out. And this is what the bank executive looks like. So if you order the indicator, this is what you'll get. First thing you want to do is click it. You put it in your indicator folder. Allow DDL imports, and then go to inputs, and you definitely want to put sound alerts to true in order to get it to talk if you have the talking version. If you don't, I don't know which version you have. Okay, so you click OK, then you notice the chart change in the back. That's the changes applying to the chart. Right at the beginning you see there was some buys here, and why did these buys fail? What could you do to prevent this? Because the robot would have took these buys, and if your settings weren't correct, you would have lost these trades. How do you protect yourself with the indicator? Like, what's the point? Okay, so had you taken these buys on your own, you probably would have noticed the market was ranging. But with the indicator is going to show you that price was actually shifted into a sell. How did you know? Simple. The two lines crossed. Whenever you see the cross do this, when a cloud crosses like this, that means the momentum is moving. This indicator follows what the banks are doing on the chart. That's why it's called the bank expert. It wasn't just a gimmick that we named it that. So once you see the two lines cross, right, the price is now ready to head down. And once the lines cross,
we have a possible change to bearish momentum.
Price went down.
Look for a move to the downside on dollar Swiss 1 minute chart.
Your sell was short-lived. Why was it short-lived? Because now price was consolidating. So if you actually look, this is a level of support. Very clear to see this is a level of support, right? There's one here, clearly, and then there's one here, then there's one here, and then there's clearly one here, one here, one here. You can see the levels, right? So okay, this is clearly went down here, consolidated. What was it doing? Taking buys. The banks were taking buys. So what this indicator did was go, hey, we went down. And we don't really think the momentum is heading down, so the cloud started to twist again. Now what happened when the cloud twisted again? It went up, it gave you this buy. Now say you lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades, right? You would definitely be frustrated, and you probably would give up, because the market does this. This is gold, by the way. This is not a regular pair. Pardon me, this is silver. So you know, silver and gold and platinum, they're wild. So you expect this to happen if you don't know how to trade it. Now, if it was a different pair, it would be different. But it's silver. Okay, so and the reason I put this is because you can trade anything with this system. So obviously price was consolidating right here. I'm not going to give like a super deep analysis, but when price is consolidating, that means that the market is taking orders. So they took buys. So the cloud bent upwards, gave out your first buy. Now what happened when it gave out the buy? Price wasn't really ready to go up yet, went back down. The sellers pushed price down again. Price didn't really go down. This was a fake out. And then you got the cross again, and this time the buy came out. Now when the buy came out, this was a big buy. Boom. Big move. You know, if you look, this was a very big move. Okay, you got another buy. Buy. And you get to about right here. This is where price reversed again, faked everyone out of the trade. But by then you got well over 280 pips. You should have had about 280 pips. As you see, the high of the trade would be right here, and that would be 343 pips, okay? So either way, somewhere around here you should have got it. So if you're holding a trade for scalping, you should have been out of this trade. If you're holding for intraday, let's put the period separator, you should have been out of that trade. If you were swing trading, you stayed in this trade. And let me just show you for the swing traders. If you stayed in this trade from this buy, look how many pips you would have had here. So people, when they ask me how did I get 100,000, 100 million, this, you know, just the crazy numbers. This is how. Okay, so you would have 1,386 pips, okay? And that's just off this indicator alone, because all of this is mumbo jumbo. It's going up and down like this. But if you're a swing trader, this doesn't affect you, okay? Because some of us don't even look at the candles. We look at the line. So we don't even bother, okay? But for you scalpers, you would have been made your money. There was no reason you shouldn't have made your money. All of this is ways to make money for scalpers, okay? Now, that is the bank executive. Let's put that out the way. Bank specialist, very similar to the bank executive, okay? Very similar. The difference is, this is just strictly for scalp, okay? So if you're going to use this robot, you're supposed to be scalping. So you see you got your sell right here. This was like a little bit of pips. Let's see what this was before you got out the trade. 26 pips, okay, for the scalpers. Another buy. This was a big buy. 319 pips, okay. You got your sell here. This was definitely a fake out. You'd have lost that. Then you'd have took the buy right here at the highest point. It was 311 pips. So once again, if you're a scalper, the signals are for you. If you're a swing or intraday trader, you kind of got to use a little bit more analysis to be successful with these signals. But like I said, they're there. They work for scalping. So if you look at these and go, okay, like see right here, this may not look like a good sell, but it was, because it's for scalping, okay? So let's close the chart on that. So we're going to go over the bank stimulus. This one is for intraday trading. It's a little bit different than the others, because if you notice, the signals are plentiful, but the difference between them is we're on a higher time frame. So you notice if you look at the day, you got 3 signals a day here, 3 signals a day here, 1 here, 2 here. So the signals are a little bit more quality when you start stepping up to your higher time frame. So they got to be a little bit more accurate. So if you go to a lower time frame, you'll notice the signals are still there the same way, but you have to learn to integrate between the time frames. So we'll look at it like this. Okay, so if you look, what's the difference? Okay, let's say the indicator bent right here. Now, sometimes when it bends like this, it's not necessarily a good trade, but in this instance, it was. You know, so you just always got to use proper risk management, of course. Now, if you take the trade, if you follow the trend all the way to the highest point, that's 1,700 pips, but let's just be fair, okay? So let's say you followed it to the point of where it hit this resistance, right? You got 277 pips. This is why it's called the intraday, because you would have held this trade from this day all the way till this day, which would have been 2 days. So you would have held it for 3 days. I mean, you would have got 3 swap fees, so let's just say 3 days, because every period you would have got swap fee by your broker. So you would have held this for 3 days, and this is why this is an intraday system. So if you know how to intraday trade, this is going to be the indicator you want to watch, and this is the system that's going to trade for you that you want to look at, okay? So once again, we went over the settings before, but let's just go over them. For this robot, you know, you want to kind of check your settings, because you know, you may want to put your take profit for intraday, let's say maybe 100 pips. Let's just keep it light. And if say you took 100 pip stop loss and you entered here and you got out of the high point, you would have been out right in here. So you would have actually made your profit twice, okay? So if your profit was 100 pips, you'd have made 220 pips at the highest point. At any time, you'd have been over 200 pips, okay? If you were to intraday to the next day, your highest point, you would have been 229 pips, okay? So easily understandable. So let's take that off. So let's just say you want to be greedy, and I don't want to use that word and say that's what you're being, but let's just say you want to maximize your profit, right? You will come to max orders and put in, let's just say 10, right? Let's say you put in 10 max orders, right? You would have caught 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You'd have took those. You'd have been losing because it pulled back. Then you'd have took these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you would have been winning because these would have been going down. But like I said, overall, the trend was going up. So these were pullbacks. All these sells were kind of pulling back. But overall, you were in an uptrend. And the reason you know is because once you go to a higher time frame, it becomes clearer. If you go to the daily, like I said, you know, so as you see, if you look at the daily, what is it showing you? That price wants to go back up here. Okay, so that's what you see. Go to the week, becomes clearer. That price is just going up here. Once again, go to the month, it becomes extremely clear that price wants to go up here, right? So anyway, no need to give those lessons out. You already know. So this is what the bank stimulus is for. So if you want to learn how to intraday trade, this is the system that you might want to be looking at, because this is the one that's going to show you all of the intraday moves. Okay, so this is one of my favorites, but the bank executive kind of does this, and it does a little bit of the scalping. So it's up to you. It really depends. You could scalp off of this robot as well, but it's targeting for intraday traders. That's at least what the strategy is for that I'm using it. I keep everything on the 1 hour because that's what I trade. You could trade lower time frames, but like I said, if you trade lower time frames, I'll show you what it looks like. You're going to get a lot of signals, because that's the difference between this robot and another robot. And I'll just go back, just show you the difference in the lower time frame, because I know some people trade 5 minutes. So same thing. If you trade the 5 minute, you see the signals a little bit clearer, but do you see how much more choppier they are? Okay, so I like to trade a lower time frame than that, you know. So even though I put it on the chart in the back says 1 hour, but it's the 5 minute. That's just a little lag going on. Okay, but I just want you guys to see the difference. Okay, so that's that. So we're going to talk about bank specialists in this video. The bank specialist is particularly more for scalping. So if you want to specifically just scalp, this is the 1 hour. As you can see, when you look at all of the arrows, the entries for these arrows, they're all moves that are more catered towards people who just want to grab a few pips. Now you can take some of these signals and of course hold them just from trend direction alone. But if you just want to scalp and you want something to give you signals for that, this indicator is perfect. And of course the robot will take the trades. Now for scalpers, your settings will want to be a little bit different, because as you can see, these moves are moves that are very small, and often that's kind of what they're going for. Like you see right here, this was, what was this, 48 pips. This was a small trade right here as well. This was another 27 pips. This was, I mean, when did you get out? So if you took the trade at the beginning of the session, 37 pips, 150 pips, 280 pips, 312 pips at its highest point. Now let's look at the indicator, because you're scalping. So if you're scalping, you probably won't hold that long. But you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this is definitely a bad sell in my opinion. You'd have took the sell and probably, let me see what you would have got. If you're scalping, you probably would have been okay, but I don't scalp, so I seldom do. Yeah, this was only like 18 pips before reverse. So I don't know if that's something people want, but it's here if you do. Okay, so then at this highest point, if you hold getting this trade at the beginning of the session, the highest point was 280 pips. I don't know, you'll probably scalp that. So when this candle did like this and came back down, you probably would have got out somewhere in here. So you probably would have caught up. You'd have been able to catch on this one candle 113 pips. You know, so let's just get the period separator off the chart. So as you can see, like I said, a lot of these entries are for scalpers. So if you don't learn how to scalp, this would be the perfect robot to get. Like I said, a lot of these signals were just very scalpy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's what the bank specialist is for. So if you're a scalper, this is the indicator you want. High risk, high reward. However, like I said,
we have a possible change to bullish.
Sorry. If you want to learn how to swing on intraday, then this is a little bit trickier to use this system for that. So all of the series robots have different things that they teach or they trade. So if you want to learn these strategies, just use the indicator over a period of time, you'll get the hang of it. However, like I said, it depends on what you're trying to do. So we have something for everyone. If you want to do them all, then you would go back to here, and then you would get the all-in-one system. The all-in-one system, you can do all of it. You can swing, scalp, or you can intraday. It's up to you. Or you whatever signal you want, you can just get all the signals you want. We have the scanner available as well. I'll make a separate video for that. But this is all the bank series, so we're going to switch over to Bank Wealth, and then we'll get out of here from there. Now let's go to the main one, Bank Wealth. What is the difference? This one is going to be the main difference. The Bank Wealth is going to give you the trending swing trade. Okay, so if you put the period separator on the chart, this first bar came out right here on the chart, which this was definitely missed, because if you look, the cloud is going up like this. So what you want to go do is look for the period where you want to look for where the cloud first bent at. Okay, so this is where the cloud first bent at. Okay, this is where the cloud first bent. So your first buy would be your big buy. Okay, so it bent here, and we're going to go back to the chart right there. This is your first buy. Even though it's sold on you, a lot of people ain't going to be able to hold no negative trade for no day, 2-3 days. Okay, so you probably would have got out of this trade because you don't know the future. You don't know this is happening. But like I said, when this cloud is bending in a certain direction, that's going to tell you that's where the money's going. So the money had a lot of momentum going up, and then it came back and pulled back. This is a fake out. That's why you see this little wick right here. Anytime you wonder if something's a fake out, look for a wick. If you see a long wick, that means it was a fake out to tap you out of your trade, because that's how they do it. Okay, that's the indicator.
We have a possible change to bullish momentum.
Where they just take
look for a move to the upside on Euro Kiwi 5-minute chart.
Okay, just to let y'all know that's the fake out. So anyway, you get the buy right here, and this is it. This is the Bank Wealth. This is why this is called Bank Wealth. You get your buy, and guess what? You never come out of the trade. Guess what? You know, once again, 1,815 pips off this robot. Okay, so it speaks for itself. That's the difference between the four robots. Now let me go over the expert. So when you get it, if you get just the indicator, we went over the indicator earlier, this is what you get. Okay, you just set it to true, and it'll talk. Whenever a signal comes up, it'll talk. Okay, now I have it muted because I'm trying to make the video, but if you watch any of my videos, you hear the robots talking all the time in the background. Okay, so I'm going to go over the settings, and for this portion, I'm going to be using All Bank, which is all the bank series in one. Now, this is the pip counter. This is a separate indicator, but this is on the chart just for you to see what the robot is doing in the trade it's in. So this is for demonstration purposes. Everything else is included when you buy the bank series robot. So you get the indicator, which right now, the settings, we will go over those, and you will see the inputs. So I will tell you what input is being displayed right now. So we are looking at a different setup right here. I'll put it like this. This is using an exclusive setup for this robot, okay? And it's cool. So I'll just let you see which for yourselves. Okay, I'll let you see. And notice that every signal you see on that is very accurate, right? And you're only going to get this with this version of the robot. So let's go over the settings. The first thing you want to do with the robot is put it on both. For trade mode, if you do not do that, it will not apply to your chart. Of course, you always want to go to common and click allow DDL. And then if you click allow live trading, if you click this off, you can have the robot running without trading. So you can still get your signals, but it will not take a trade. For those of you who just want to use it as a signal trader, you can turn that off, okay? And then when you feel ready, you just go back and click allow, and notice the smiley face, the frowning face will now smile. Happy. Yes, we are happy trading. You turn it off, just to show you one more time. When you turn that off, you will now frown, letting you know that your trader is not accepting trades, okay? So let's make our trader accept trades, because that's what we're here for. Okay, so now let's go over the settings you would get and the expert. Okay, the expert is the trading portion of your system. Go to inputs. Let's drag this all the way out. And since this is all bank, it has a lot more settings, but don't worry, they all have it. Okay, so let's go over it. The difference between all bank and the others is that you can change the cloud ribbon. Okay, so boom. Boom. I'm going to give you the source in this video if you watched it. The maximum number of trades is whenever you see these arrows, every time an arrow pops up, it can take 1 trade per trade, or it can take 50. So every time a signal pops out, if you click OK, it'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It'll take all of these trades if you tell it to. So let's tell it to take 1. Sometimes I usually stack trades. So if I'm feeling good about my direction, I'll put 2 or 3. Now you want to go to your lot size. And of course my favorite is 1 lot for demonstration purposes. Okay. So you want to take, since we're getting these good signals like this, we're going to go for my favorite 100 pip boot camp. Y'all already know what I do. My favorite stop loss 30 pips, even though I don't really use stop losses. We're going to put that on. Okay, now let's pull this out so we can really break down the settings. Okay, so what are you going to get when you get this? Okay, now just to show you in all fairness, I'm going to go to one of the other bank robots. Let's go back to Bank Wealth. And let's just open up the properties so you can see that there wasn't much difference between all bank and that. Let's open it all the way up. And you see there was not much difference. The only difference between all bank and this one is that the cloud can be modified. Okay, so that's how you get all of the settings that I have when you buy the Pyrex Vision, because I give you all of these inside of one. And I'll tell you what the settings are only when you buy that, because that is my personal settings. Okay. Other than that, you can just take one of these strategies and you can use it. If you want all of them, you have to get the Pyrex Vision. All bank has it too, but it's not. It doesn't have everything that the Pyrex Vision has. It has a little bit more than the Pyrex Vision set. Okay, so let's get back to the settings. So, say you want to trail your trade, right? We're gonna take 1,000 pips profit, right? Since we on Bank Wealth, we got to get those pips. You put your 30 pip stop loss, and hey, let's say, you know, stop loss, everybody know what that is. That's how much you're willing to risk, right? So we doing a stop loss of 30 to 1,000. So our risk to reward is like 1 to 1 million. It's like 1 to 10, right? Okay, not even 1 to 10. I'm exaggerating. It's like 1 to 30. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so if you do 25, let's do the math real quick. So it'll be 4 times 10, so that would be 40. So it would be about 30 to 35 risk to reward ratio on a 30 pip stop loss at 1,000 pip take profit. Okay, so somewhere in between 30 and 40. So it's probably about 35. Okay, for those of you who want to be safe, you can trail your trade. You can put every 100 pips. You can say, hey, I want 1,000 pips, right? Every 100 pips, I want my trailing stop to kick in. So if I'm trailing for 1,000 and I want 100 pips per trail, I'll tell it, hey, every time I hit 100 pips, move my stop loss to that position. Okay, so if you want to get 100 pips, you can tell your trailing stop every 10 pips, move to trail my trade. And every time that happens, you'll get a notification letting you know that it's doing that. Now you can do break even every 10 pips. So say, hey, at 10 pips, I don't even want a trailing stop. Let's say I don't want to trail my trade. I want to give it room to breathe, right? You just put 0 right here. You put 10 in the break even slot. And what's going to happen when you do that is at 10 pips, it'll lock your trade. So it's risk free at that point. Okay. So that's what you get right there. Boom. Okay. Now let's go further. Slippage 2. What is slippage? Slippage is pretty much if you wanted to, you give it a slippage percent like 2 pips. Let's say every 2 pips, if break even at 10 pips and you wanted to trail, you get like a little slippage where every 2 pips it'll refresh. It's something you don't really need to worry about, put it like that. This is the money management. This is for people who are taking funded account challenges. So if you're taking a funded account, you put this on true, which we did for the video. It's usually normally on false, but you put it on true and you put in 100,000 for your account and you put 1%. So it's only going to risk 1%. It's going to calculate for you like baby pips or whatever site you go to do your risk calculation. And now it automatically knows to only risk 1% per trade. So if you're losing 1%, it's going to clip your trade off, okay? It's going to stop your trade automatically. Now you have the session indicator. We turn this to true. Normally it's on false. And the time is usually at 0, okay? And just to be clear, I'm just going to go to another random chart and show you this. Just so we're transparent about the settings so you can see what they really look like all the time, okay? So, as you see, everything's false right here, right? So, say you wanted to trade London session, you would put it to 300 hours, right? 300 hours. And let's say you wanted to close New York. Let's do 12. And this is all military time, so just understand that. And let's say 12 noon New York time, we wanted to stop. it will now automatically trade between 3 a.m. and 12 p.m. Okay, because we told it to. As long as the indicator's smiling and you set this, it's going to take trades between those times. For those who know that they want to leave, but they want their robot to trade during that time, you can tell it to only trade certain hours or certain times of the day. If you have remote access, you could just remotely put that in as well. I used to do it. I don't do it anymore. Now, for the news filter for the hardcore traders, you could put this on, and you could put close orders before news. You could put this to true, and you can set the time. I want no trades before news, 30 minutes. No trades after news, 30 minutes. Of course, you can put your own time in there. And then you could put high impact news. I would definitely recommend do not put false. Do not put true to medium and low impact news, because there's a lot of that, and that will just have you not taking any trades on the robot, okay? Include speaks. Of course, speaks are important when presidents speak. And then you got your major pairs at the bottom. So a lot of y'all don't know how this works, but if you trade news, anything going through this news filter, which is the news calendar for Forex, it will take these trades. Of course, you could put a different feed in there, right? But that's hardcore stuff. Don't worry about it. We won't get into that. And then you can just have this locked in, okay? And I gave this as an open feature to you for those of you who are hardcore traders, because you'll appreciate that. A lot of trading software does not give you news filters, okay? So just know that. That's why these softwares are not the typical rinky-dinky stuff you see, and I'm not taking shots at nobody else. I'm just letting you know that the trader was thought of heavily when we put these options and made them available to traders, okay? Because a lot of people black these settings out and they don't let you get access to them. We're giving you free control. So that's it. So that's the Bang series in a nutshell. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any comments or questions, or as usual, hit me up, DM me, leave a comment, and I will answer you as soon as possible. But you can go to the website and just check these all out for yourself. And this has been an exclusive, detailed tutorial and explanation of the Bang series, all of them. And the Pyrex Vision is all of these with all the other indicators that I use all in one. That is just all of my systems in one that I use daily to trade. That is why that is different from the Bang series. It's your boy Jimmy. I'm out of here. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Peace.